So I'm going to try and fly the little Waco UMX here. Wind's hardly up. Now I'm going to try one of these fly batteries. I haven't had the greatest experience with these. So I'm, I don't know what to, last time I was out flying UMX, I tried to take the UMX J3 Cub off with one of these, and I could barely even get to push it to even get it off the ground, and I could hardly control it. But then when I put a nanotech in, it flew absolutely fine. So although these are actually newer than the nanotechs, I bought them more recently, I'm not entirely, pleased with them, and I'm not too confident in their working. They've also got way more, because they have a JST and a balance plug in addition to the UMX connector. They got umpteen wires. You've got to get out the way here. Okay, now let's try and have another go at tucking wires out the way. And we do have some Velcro on the bottom there. And then we'll put the little magnetic whatnot on. Magnetic catch for the cowl on there. Right, left. Rudder seems way out of trim for some reason. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Why the heck is the rudder way out of trim? Hanger rash of some sort, probably. Well, that's not so good. But I mean, it's back. I've trimmed it now, but I had to use more or less all the trim I'd got available for me. Oh, and it looks as if my cowling is coming off. My windscreen has come unglued, hanger rash and whatever. We will leave that in the box for now. Well, I just don't want it to blow away. If I leave it on the surface, I'm afraid it'll blow away. Okay, let's see what we can do. The undercarriage of this thing cannot cope with the undercarriage of this thing. I'd rather take him off. I'm just turning him round to point him more out. I want to try and take him off the table, but I want to point it. I don't want to point it at the long grass particularly. Alright, let's see. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, no problem. No problem with the plane. Will be a problem if I look to my left now, because the sun is up and I'm going to blind myself if I go that way. The rising sun is well up now and is going to cause me all sorts of problems if I... This is a fairly aerobatic sort of plane. Too far towards the sun. It's got very positive, it's a biplane, so it's got lots of lift and it's got fairly positive control. It's got AS3X for a bit of wind resistance, so there's hardly any wind now, I'm pleased to say. The weather forecast said there might be up to 20 km/h winds by now, I think. But there certainly are, yeah, which is good.
Time remaining 6 minutes.
Yeah, now I see this battery seems to be working fine now, but I don't know as I'd trust it for the 6 minutes, because I've had somewhat poor experience with these fly venom batteries. They seem to, I don't know, they seem to get old. I don't know what that was. To be honest, it was meant originally to be an Immelman turn and then turned into something else. It turned into a quarter turn, go vertical, roll and level out, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, one thing about this plane, as I say, is it does have very positive control. I am not, as you will doubtless have noticed if you watch me flying much, an aerobatic flyer. I'm mostly just a potterer and a scale flyer. But this is the most aerobatic plane I have, probably, really. It's extremely, you know, you've got very positive control over it with the, you know, the sticks. It's one of those things where, you know, you can almost like flip it a bit and, you know, just position it where you want to. I don't really much attempt to try and fly knife edge, but that was a little bit better attempt at an Immelman turn, a little bit tidier. It wasn't too bad an Immelman turn. I don't get very fancy. I can't even remember most of the fancier maneuvers, let alone do them. But this plane is a plane that, you know, if you're going to be doing aerobatic maneuvers, it probably has about as positive control as you could possibly have them. It is a small plane, so even with ASDX, you probably don't want to be trying to, well, I wouldn't want to be trying to get too aerobatic with it in a lot of wind, but in windless conditions like this, you know, your control is certainly excellent. I'm avoiding going to my left, as I say, because the sun is quite bright now. Nice plane, really. Not a grass field plane. Yeah, I'm not even a straight roll. That's just me. I'm just not very good. That was all that was meant to be, was really a roll, but oh, of course I could.
High rate.
Yes, I am still on low rates. All that was on low rates. I'd forgotten, to be honest, what rates I was on. So maybe we'll just bring him round and try a snap roll with high rates, which I imagine will go a little bit more. Yeah, so I beg your pardon, I'm rusty. No. And I'm starting to get too far away. You see, these small planes get too far away really quickly. You know, you start mucking around trying to practice maneuvers a little way away from yourself. And then if you don't pay attention very quickly, the darn plane gets to the point where you're having trouble seeing it. I'm getting a crick in my neck now as well, which is, of course, a flyer's problem, I guess. Yeah, I suck. I'm going to put it back on low rates. I am not much of an aerobatic flyer. And really, there's quite enough control on this plane for me in low rates. Immelman turn there to avoid going into the sun. Yeah, we should bring it back in. We're saying 2 minutes and I'm not trusting the battery that much. So we should be coming in. Now, it's not meaningfully going to be possible to land this guy on the grass. I mean, what are you going to do? His wheels are way too small. He wouldn't take. I took him off the table because he wouldn't take off the grass. A bit of a low pass. I took him off the table because he wouldn't take off the grass, and there is no way he is going to land on the grass. I mean, however gently I land him, he's almost certainly going to flip over because the wheels just won't roll on the grass. Yep.
Throttle cut on.
There's just no way those wheels are going to roll on grass. They look pretty and all that in the pants and whatever. But there is no way. Oh dear, there is no way. Those wheels, you can see that one's been broken at some point, not today though. But there's no way those wheels, they'll roll on the table or whatever, and they'd roll on asphalt or whatever. You could probably land him quite neatly on his wheels, but there's no way on grass he's just going to flip over every time.
Throttle cut off. Throttle cut on. Throttle cut off. Throttle cut on.
Just blow the air off the water off the propeller a bit. That's just the AS3X chattering. This is just AS3X. It doesn't have a safe or anything. I think that's true of most of the UMX ones, isn't it? The J3 carb Oh, the UMX Timber does have safe though, I think. Anyway, this doesn't. It's just AS3X, and that's fine. Absolutely fine. Very nice little plane. Very nice little plane. We'll see where that battery is in a minute. Okay, so let's see where this Fly Venom battery has got from flying this Waco for, oh, what did we fly it for? About 4. I'm putting that in the wrong place, aren't I? Am I? Yes, I guess I am. Yep, there we go. About 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes. Well, it flew it, but it's down to 3.81. I wouldn't really want to take it down much lower than that. And it was about, well, 4.5 minutes. That was about 4.5 minutes it flew for, and it's down to 3.8 to sell. That one's okay then. I don't know. I guess there's nothing wrong with that really. But it's like, maybe it's the other one that's a problem, because I know I put one in the UMX J3 Cub and it just wouldn't work. Anyway, no complaints about that. And there's the UMX Waco. I'm never quite sure how you're supposed to pronounce that. Very nice little plane.